nonverbal autism, meaning he cannot speak. People say they want the facts. What can you ask him if he cannot speak? But I can. I am his voice, and I will speak for him. We trusted his school to protect him, to care for him, and to treat him with dignity. Instead, he was harmed, silenced, and failed by the very people who was supposed to keep him safe. What I discovered on the camera footage is something no parent should ever have to ever see or hear. Our child was put in a situation where he was scared, overwhelmed, and powerless. And while this was happening, there was adults in the room who did nothing to stop it. This is unacceptable. So today, we are demanding accountability and change. I'm calling for a full, immediate investigation. Every teacher, every staff member who has access to my son must be interviewed. There needs to be a complete and honest review of what is happening inside these classrooms. We are demanding that the individual actually who assaulted our son be terminated immediately.
Immediately.
And prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And not just him. Any staff member who witnessed this abuse and chose to stay silent must also be terminated. Silence is not a face of abuse and just to be quiet and keep it going. It's you being complicity. My son has severe nonverbal autism. He cannot speak, but I can. I am his voice, and I will speak for him.
Therefore.
And this cannot stop with my son. We are calling for Samaj law. A policy that requires cameras in a classroom that serves nonverbal and vulnerable children. Our children deserve protection, transparency, and accountability at all times. Not just when something goes wrong. No parent should have to question whether their child is safe at school. No child should suffer in silence because they cannot speak.
Yes, amen.
My son deserves justice. And we will not fight. I will not stop fighting until he gets it. Until no other child has to change or has to go through this. I am his voice, his eyes, his ears. He cannot speak, but I will speak for him. Justice for Samaj.
Right. Don't even make no sense. No way.
Heard a mother cry. Has to be some accountability. If a kid is nonverbal, there's no way he should have to fight for his innocence.
Ain't no way.
There's no way he should. It should be immediate questions on why he reacted the way he did. And my question is, how many more?
Many more.
How hard?
Non-verbal.
In a class full of 70.
You know, when you send your kids to school, you feel like that there's a safe space.
Hello.
But to feel like that you gotta put a camera. unacceptable. But guess what? The hands of these things are with us, the people. We determine who sits on board. We determine who writes the laws, your legislators. We have got to protect our most vulnerable population. I had another parent that reached out. Right after this, I'm gonna bring her up. I'm just gonna tell you some things that happened with her child. So many parents wanted to show up today. So many parents wanted to speak out.
So,
They're not getting anywhere with Jefferson County Public Schools. They just wanna feel heard. They wanna know that something's gonna happen. They wanna know that it's okay to send their kids back to school.
Yeah.
Education is so vital. But safety for our youth is way more important. I want to know that my child's gonna make it home.
Come on, say again.
That part.
So I'm gonna let Miss Monet come up and speak about, her child and what happened with Jefferson County Public Schools.
yes, ma'am. I don't know where to start at. I don't wanna take nothing from you because when you was up here talking, I could feel your sorrow in your heart. My son is also artistic and he's nonverbal, but he knows how to talk. He knows Spanish, Swahili, and English.
Yes,
He's
ma'am.
very intelligent. He's 6 years old and he's very affectionate with me, with family, with people that he don't know because he doesn't know. But the way my son was treated at Big Elementary, it's just not, I just can't understand how they could do a precious child like that. I have 6 other kids and none of my kids is like King. His name is King Joshua, y'all. He was getting mistreated to the point to where the staff was calling CPS on themselves. The staff, the security guard on March the 26th, my son failed because they let him walk around the whole school with his pull-up on, y'all. Let him take his pants and his shoes off. And I'm just like, if anybody see a kid and be like, hey, it's little girls in here, come on, put your shoes and your pants back on. You can't walk around like this. When nobody in the school like addressing that, I redirected him to do that. So on the 26th of March, he fell and hit his head, y'all. And he had a big concussion. And his head was so big, it was like orange. His head was like an orange. So I rushed my son to the emergency room and they just told me just to come and get him. Because when you autistic, you don't want nobody to touch your ears. You don't want nobody to touch your head. So he was really crying and they couldn't assess him. They couldn't get no vitals on him. They couldn't help my baby. And he fell that serious. I don't know the seriousness of the fall, but how hard how big his head was, you couldn't imagine what happened to him. So we stayed in the hospital all night on the 26th. When I got there, the doctors was asking me, did he black out? Did he lose consciousness? I couldn't answer none of no questions. They did not let me see an incident report. They told me that whoever was, like, his teacher wasn't there, so didn't nobody know what happened to my son. So I asked them, can they run the cameras back to let me see the seriousness of the fall? I wanted to see what happened to him. She told me that it was a HIPAA violation and she couldn't let me see. They wouldn't tell me what happened to my son. So several different staff members called CPS and said that it's an everyday thing that King goes unattended and he walks around the whole school and he doesn't have nobody to like care for him. So the security guard on the 31st, March the 31st, he came and he walked past the school door, you know, it's like a glass, like where you can just look in there. He said that he seen my son locked in a room, sleep on a bookshelf. And they went on a field trip and left my son. He was unattended for several hours. And I guess he was just like, well, as no one here, I guess I just go to sleep. On the bookshelf, this is a week. He wasn't in school for a whole week after he fell. When I sent him back to school the next day, that happened. The security guard said he went to go open the door and couldn't get King out. He called the principal. The principal didn't have the key, y'all. She didn't have the key. He said that he had to call the man that cleans up to come and let my son out. So he called CPS because he said he could. He was a black man. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was the only security black man at Big Elementary. I applaud him for doing that for my son, calling CPS. I have 2 open CPSs on the school that the staff called, y'all. The staff called on their own staff, and my son was left unattended, and that's not even it. And several different things that happened with my son at the school. So Miss Kim is the principal. She would call and say, Mahogany, I'm short of staff. Can you keep King home? I don't have nobody to keep an eye on him. And we going on a field trip tomorrow. It's just like, we going on a field trip tomorrow. Can you keep King home? Because I'm short of staff. So months was going by, y'all. Like, so many days that I kept my son home, and I'm so grateful that I did keep him home, because she was telling me that she wasn't gonna watch him, and wasn't nobody gonna watch him. Several times that I came to pick my son up, like she would be like, King got something in his mouth. He won't get this up. So when I used to come, my son used to be in there without any clothes on. So I'd be like, I said, ma'am, I said, you here in the office, why is my son in his printer room? There's a printer room in here, and it's like file cabinets and like plugs and stuff. It's like the little blue cot. My son is laying in this room on a blue cot with his pull-up on. Y'all, I think that was touching my son. He cannot talk to me. He knows how to talk, but he did tell me that they touched him or nothing, because why my son keep taking his clothes off in the school? Tell me that. And these staff is not doing nothing about it. When I tell you that it's right here, it's so heavy for me. It's so heavy to hear her say that she did a camera. I wish I had a camera to see what they was doing to my baby, y'all. This is too much to deal with. We need justice for our kids. But, that's all I have to say, y'all, but I am just overwhelmed.
Shame on Big.
Where is your wood?
Just another school. Hearing these perspectives bring us back to the core framework of Jefferson County Public Schools on regulations. Under federal law, state regulations, and exceptional child education guidelines, and IEP is a strict commitment to providing a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. Jefferson County Public School regulations are specifically designed to ensure that students with disabilities have equitable access to a safe and supportive learning environment. However, policies on paper are only as strong as their consistent implementation and oversight in practice.
Yes, ma'am.
Jefferson County Public Schools must ensure its leadership is actively monitoring these environments to maintain students' safety. We understand there is an active investigation into these incidents at both schools, Bick and Field Elementary. We respect that there is a formal process in place and that investigations take time to establish the full set of facts. We are not here to prejudge again. However, our office is issuing a clear call to action regarding how that process is managed.
Yeah.
We will not take these things happening lightly. In previous situations involving allegations or active investigations into student-teacher interactions, we have seen employees removed or reassigned from the classroom environment while investigations are underway.
Exactly.
One of my own former colleagues was breaking up a fight. He had to prove his innocence while under investigation. They immediately removed him from the classroom and put him at the bus compound. Took a very long time before that investigation is over. We are calling for the same standards to be applied here immediately while the facts are being reviewed. Furthermore, we are calling for consistency in how these administration protocols are applied. Investigations, protective measures, and administrative actions must be executed in uniform manner across the board. We need some consistency.
Come on.
The process must be applied evenly and without variations. We cannot dictate the final outcome, but we can insist that the process itself meets the high standards of accountability and transparency. Our office will continue to receive concerns from constituents. We will continue to work alongside our state partners, and we will continue to expect Jefferson County Public Schools to handle this matter and any other matter in a way that reflects the seriousness of these concerns and the standards of the community expects. Thank you. We will now open up for questions.
Have you guys been in contact at all with JCPS? Have you been able to talk to them at all, any of those people?
Yes, I did, speak with, Dr. Yearwood. He had another obligation. He said if he was able to make it, that he would be late.
When you say you've been flooded with calls, you don't have to say which schools, but is it possible that there have been incidents at other JCPS schools?
Yes, actually, there has been two, at Field. One of the parents that was not able to be here today, she immediately removed her child. They sent her a letter about truancy. She still is not sending her child back. So, she said she wants some, she wants some answers.
And then just to clarify, was that also an autistic child?
Yes.
I'm a parent from Field Elementary School, and I really do touch your heart. As a mom, I do worry because our mom and dad knows their child. And the teacher keeps telling us our child's misbehaving, your child's bad, but no, my child's not like that. A disability child is a loving, kind, they're really sweet. And as a mom, when we hear this news, it just broke my heart. Like, is this happening at this school? Is it just only for this child? Is it happening to other children too? Because I'm a brown Native American and we're affected by it too.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm worried as a parent because is he still working? Because I don't want him to be at that school. I don't want
No school, for that matter. You know, and I will be very candid and transparent with everyone. Metro government does not have any jurisdiction over Jefferson County Public Schools. But we're definitely gonna use our voice, right? I felt like that this needed some awareness brought to it, more than social media. They see the social media, they know what's going on, right?
It's the only reason why the principal posted on social media.
You
I've
know,
seen it on social media.
But I did notice once, they found out that we were doing a press conference, they spoke up and said that there was an investigation. But prior to that, no one even acknowledged to us that there was an investigation being going on, you know, that was going on. When you're dealing with people's kids, right?
Right.
Most of you all in this room have kids. You know, you wanna know what's going on with your kids' investigation.
Yes.
Especially when they cannot speak for themselves.
So we got cerebral palsy.
You know, there is no exception to that rule.
Crazy.
It was multiple teachers in that room,
They could have said something,
multiple,
done
right?
something.
They can't answer to tell me whether they got this guy on leave during this investigation.
But y'all still want him to send people, y'all kids.
Are there any more media questions?
Hold on, guys, hold on 1 second, hold on, everybody can ask. Okay, does any of the media have any more questions?
Is he still going to school, or have you guys kept him home?
No.
It's been 2 months.
And then just, how do you spell his name for the?
SEMAJ, that's James spelled backwards.
Okay. And so it would be that, the name, apostrophe, and then ball, if.
And a lot of times, awareness has to be brought to things like this. So you can try to talk to your kids. These kids are our future. When we move on, they'll still be here. And to just imagine that these things could be going on in our school system is a problem. You know, it also brings several concerns to me, on, you know, Jefferson County Public Schools was in a $3 million deficit. You know, I've been doing a lot of homework for the last few, you know, days. This has really been laying really heavy on my heart. Especially when you have a multitude of families that have reached out to say, you know, I settled a lawsuit and I can't talk. I signed a paper saying that after it was resolved, I can't speak on it, right? You know, I wanna take, the community and a lot of the parents on a challenge. Get justice. Get justice first. Don't sign to be quiet. Get justice.
Yeah.
Way too often that we look for the check. I gotta say what needs to be said. Get justice for your child first. It's most important.
We definitely will be getting justice.
One question real quick, and then we gotta wrap it up.
When JCPS hires people to teach our autistic kids, like, what does that process look like?
Well, they're certified.
Well, there definitely are certain
That dude's an
criteria.
assistant
So,
teacher. He
hold on
wasn't
one
even a
second.
teacher.
There are certain criteria to be in those classrooms that you are supposed to have. And that I don't have in front of me, so I don't wanna put out any wrong information, but I can get you that information on what those qualifications should look like in those classrooms.
Which should be BCBA, which is trials that are run by ABA.
I wanna say one last thing, because there was only one video showing this, multiple videos, this was one day. I trusted the camera to put on my child for one day. This video was over 3 hours. It was different sections of videos. The first video, all three teachers are talking about smoking marijuana, eating edibles,
Inhaling with
and
their
this school is
grades.
still open.
They bring-
This school is still open. They still in that school working, and this school is still open. An investigation like that, the end of the summer should have been when my child got hurt. When I said I had the proof. When they called the police, they called JCPS police. When they came, they handed me a small piece of paper and that was it, and told me to leave. Because what did I look like, an angry black woman, I guess?
No, you didn't.
But best believe, if that school,
You was
that
confident I
school
would've been.
is the last day is today. Because Monday, we marching Monday. Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's the special
We
news.
marching on Monday. That's it. I ain't got nothing.
We're gonna wrap it up, yeah.
Get us there.
We going Monday.
Louisville, it is our chance to change the direction and to make it better. We deserve better. We get there together.
This is brought to you by the people to elect Shamika Parrish Wright.
Why is everybody, like, why
Hey
is
y'all,
the
I'm
police
Attica
fighting
Scott,
against
former
us?
Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Election Night.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
Former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Election